Malmö, the third biggest city in Sweden with more than 170 nationalities. It's well known for its culture, diversity, and openness. Currently, the city faces challenges of reinventing itself from its industrial past to the city of knowledge and culture. Malmö is one of the strongholds of labor and human rights movements in Sweden, and is therefore committed to make public spaces accessible to everyone. Open public spaces like streets, squares, are direct manifestation of city's values in the built environment. The city of Malmö revolves around its network of public spaces. The spine starting at Stortorget, connecting Gustav Adolf Torg and Triangle, has the potential to grow further toward Möllevågen, connecting old and new parts of the city.
I've been living around these parts, not exactly here, but around these parts for several years, so I'm very familiar with these places. And I think, for me, they have meant a lot, because for me, this is what Malmö is about. It gives me the feel of the city. I think it represents part of the city center, and I think it represents something that connects one commercial hub or center with what is more the center in terms of all the public life and public spaces. So I'm referring to Triangeln, which is up there, and Gustav Adolfs Torg, which is both a transportation hub and a center with a market.
First, let's see how a public space contributes to the overall life in a city. One of the basic instincts of humans is the need to meet others. Public space can be used as an arena for social interactions. Aristotle was one of the first who said that life inside the city is more beneficial for the well-being of citizens than any other form of living. Today, public space continues to be a place to meet others, to spend time with family, or just to let yourself be seen. Squares and streets offer a unique chance to meet others and to choose the level of interactions with them. City streets can become places to meet new people, see strangers walk by, or even fall in love. For all this to happen, a street needs to lure people in. It needs to offer something that makes it attractive. Either beautiful architecture, diversity of shops to go to, or just a vibrant life that entertains people. As Hannah Arendt puts it, only in public, when perceived by others and perceiving others, people can truly demonstrate their existence. Public spaces are important parts of cities, which makes them interesting areas for research. All city streets are important, but there are always those which are frequented by more people and to some extent represents the whole city.
A place where everybody can meet and everybody are allowed to be here, and you can't exclude anyone. It's very public area, but still in the city center. So I think it's if the street works very good and people are very happy there, I think the town also will be happy. Or if the town is happy people will be seen in the street.
Our research focuses on the Södra Förstadsgatan street in the central part of Malmö, between Triangle Torget and Gustav Adolf Torg. As the main pedestrian street in the city, it should offer amenities and services to the various groups living in Malmö. We have divided the street into 5 zones, counted the number of people walking through and estimated their age and gender. Through this research and interviews with people concerned about the physical and social aspects of the area, we aim to see if the street works as an effective open public space, how people use it, move through it, and what is their experience with the public space. Walking is the most common way of movement. It is a mean to reach our destination, but also a way to explore public environment and discover different urban settings. Walking can be an activity on its own. where we just go for a stroll in the park or we speed walk as a sport. The way we walk speaks about the nature of our intended purpose. There are three main activities that take place in or cross path with the public space. Necessary activities such as going to work or school. These activities are compulsory and are slightly affected with weather or physical environment. Moreover, we have the optional activities, which tend to occur when the conditions and the physical framework are inviting for the participants. Finally, we have the social activities that depend on the presence of others and services in public. They range from the basic ones to more complex. Social activities develop from the necessary and optional activities in more dense and inviting public spaces. Urban planners ought to pay attention to the physical environment to increase the number of optional activities, thus increase the social activities. The challenge with our project was how can we depict these activities on a very busy pedestrian street as Södra Förstadsgatan. Our observations came with a few interesting notes. Pedestrians who walk faster pay more attention to their destination and less to their surroundings. They show an urgency of their action, which can be linked to a necessary activity. Moreover, these pedestrians tend to choose a straight line for walking through the street and only break that line if they need to avoid certain barriers on their way. The second category is the people who walk slowly and take their time checking out stores, facades, or different restaurants on both sides. Once the flow of pedestrians slows, the density of activities increases.
Well, I mean, it could probably always be done better. But I think this, in terms of how people use the street, it seems to be working. So come here on a Saturday and you will see so many people, it's crowded. It doesn't have to be perfect weather. I would say that the focus on these streets pulls out people and probably investments and commercial activities from the streets next to it. So if I would like something to change, I would like this to be a bigger area. And myself is to try to look at what I call convivial spaces, and you find many of them in the city center, in the squares, in the People's Park, which is I think is a really important place in Malmö when it comes to people getting together across ethnic, cultural boundaries.
The seating areas are an important component of the public space. First, there are the public benches, most open for people to sit on. Second ones are the semi-public seating areas, with higher restrictions, usually linked to consumption. Restaurants and cafes, for example, offers seating areas for their customers under the condition that they use their services or products. The third type of seating areas are the unconventional seats. These take place on objects that are not primarily designed for seating. For example, the parking racks for bikes, stairs, flower pots, and others. Not all the seating areas, whether they are private, public, or unconventional, are well suited for people or commercial use.
My main focus is to get outdoor seating areas in the street regulated. So have it regulated, and you know, here you can have outdoor seating, here you cannot have, then you know. And it's easier for us as a real estate owner to rent out a space when we know where the outdoor seating outside of it will be. Because then we can rent it out as a cafe or restaurant, because we know they will not have outdoor seating just in front of it, maybe out in the middle. Because then we can still have boutiques that's selling clothes or whatever next to it. But if the city allows them to have outdoor seating just in front of it, suddenly the flow of people will not really get into to the shops next to it. That will decrease the sales.
The aesthetics, the orientation, used materials and the design plays a very important role in deciding which seating area is more appealing. Based on our findings, irregular seating tends to compensate the lack of urban furniture on the sunny parts of the street. Important element is also the view. Human sight tend to gravitate toward others and to more appealing built environment. Danish architect and urban designer Jan Gehl highlighted the possibilities of sharing the public space and how enriching this experience will be. Life between buildings offers an opportunity to be with others in a relaxed and undemanding way. The whole promenade offers diversity of functions and architectural styles. Thanks to its quality, the street is more interesting and becomes easier for people to identify with it. The businesses on the sunny side of the street are frequented by 20% more people than those on the shadow. The height of the surrounding buildings determines the amount of sunlight that reaches the street level. The movement of the sun affects the flow of people walking through the street. On sunny days, people tend to walk on the shadow and prefer to sit on the sunny spots. Shops that offer authentic experience with which people can identify and well-known brands that they can really rely on are the most successful and sought for.
Company of Vasakronan, we sort of made the street really work from the beginning by taking in concepts that were really pulling people towards the city, like Boss and Benetton and Boomerang, maybe on a lower rent in the beginning to set the brand on the street. Maybe now we don't want any more restaurants and we don't want any more cafes on the street because there's enough already. But that's when we say that, we only say that for 40% of the shops. The rest of the real estate owners can actually do it. So there's it's hard to stop everyone. But so the criteria is, of course, there's some we always look into what they are aiming for, how their concept looked, and how their concept feel, and if they have economic strength. And we stop some directly that we don't want on the street. But right now we don't have that exact vision, that exact brand that we can try to change the whole street with seating areas and actually the surface and almost everything, lighting.
The current paving of the street, consisting of cobblestones, reinforces its pedestrian character by slowing down the flow of people and excluding skateboarders and roller skaters. There is a need for branding this pedestrian street in a way that builds up an image of the space that people can identify with and at the same time represents the values of the whole city. This improves the quality of public life and makes it more vivid and enjoyable. People have a strong need for diversity of functions in the public spaces.
Shopping mall, everything is so streamlined. Here you get a sense of the history of the place. You get it from the buildings, from the facades. You get a feel of something else than just the commercial.
The current state of Södra Förstadsgatan is not appealing for kids, since there are no programs and activities for them, while other groups are well represented. Because of the lack of sunlight in Scandinavia, the planners should take into consideration the effect of sun on public life. The whole pedestrian area is being used by thousands of people every day. Given its position, it can grow further as the main walking street in the city, connecting its old parts with the more gentrified areas on its outskirts. To make this area more inclusive and more attractive as an open public space, all the stakeholders need to be part of a unifying plan that would promote both economical and social benefits of public life. Furthermore, the street lacks creativity in the form of street performances and other possibilities for people to enjoy diverse public life. There is some activity on the street, but not all of it contributes to its conviviality. We have also noticed that the vibe of the place largely decreases after the shops close around 6 p.m. The street becomes emptier and people move elsewhere to enjoy the nightlife. By facing the challenges with strong ideas in mind, the spine of the city can grow and connect more neighborhoods and communities in the city.
In the long run, when you look in the future, I really believe that city centers will win this competition over some kind of boring shopping places in the outskirts of the cities, because they can do really good things, but it's hard to have that really genuine feeling and authentic feeling that people actually longing for. And all the real estate owners are now on the same train. It feels like we want the same thing, and the municipality sort of wants the same thing, but now we just have to find the ways to make it happen. It's not that easy, but I think it's on the way. And as I said, the city center, I think it's going to win in the long run, and that I feel quite secure for that.
How often do you come to this place, to use this place?
2-3 times a week.
And how do you use it? For what purpose?
No, nothing special.
Just passing?
Passing by. So maybe sometime I take a beer. More life. Even more life.
Yeah,
But it is sometimes.
that was actually our fourth question.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Most often it's passing by, maybe you're going to the theaters, or maybe you're going to a toy to have a drink, or sometimes just to go here to H&M, or just, it's a nice place to be, maybe suntan a little bit or whatever.
For me, it's more you pass it. I don't often sit here. It's like if you wait for someone.
Have more benches so people can sit down, or maybe a little bit more things happening, like the food week that was here. I think they should do that more often, because they have so much space that they don't use, except for maybe for Malmö Festivalen or the food week.
It's nice, actually. But I would never sit down and have coffee here. And the other restaurants on the other side is not that good.
I live in Malmö, so it's, I mean, you pass by if you're in the city or close to my school and that kind of things. I think it's with all the, you know, the stones on the ground, and I think it could be a little bit boring. I think more green. I like more green places like right here. It's more green and it's more inviting to sit down or actually stay on the square. So
I am just here to visit my friend. Yeah. So we're just chilling here.
You like the place where you meet with someone?
Yeah, exactly. Nice to eat and catch up.
A lot of my friends will come here and, you know, we'll come, go get a few drinks or get a nicer dinner, and just enjoy the city life and enjoy the people around us and the culture. So, you know, these waterways are great, as well as just the different shopping, the different foods we can eat. And it's really nice just being outside, enjoying the sun, and being surrounded by, you know, buildings that have a lot of character, and so that's been great. Really, it's beautiful, and you know, things are going on and happening, so it's been great whenever I've come.
Anytime there's some bad or non-well-tasting food in the school cafeteria, we head here.
Maybe 2 or 3 each week we eat lunch or go to espresso house and take coffee. But yeah, sometimes we also shop and often we just have
Yes, me too. We're best friends, so we do it together.
Okay.
I think it's cool with the architecture, the old buildings. They are nice to look at and just to feel the vibe. There are many restaurants and cafes, so maybe
more clothes.
yeah, there are also so many new stores. It would be very cool with an older store just to capture the city and the street and all the, as I said, all the old buildings and stuff like that.
Food, shopping, walking around, looking at people, being looked at.
I hang around the university a lot, so it's change of scenery as well, especially in summer. That is much better. Definitely.
More bars. Yeah. One bar. I mean, there's one or two. There's one. I know that it's B over there, but it could use some more. Like after 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, it's dead. There's nothing going on here. So something that is open late.
More social. Yeah, it's good.
Good.
It's lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Every day almost. Yeah, every day. I live in Copenhagen, so I take the train every day. I think I often just walk by, but it's also like
to hang out somewhere.
Yeah, of course, it's a lovely street, and it's wide, and there's a lot of coffee shops and shops. And happen more thing on the street, like events and stuff that brings people to the street and makes like a street festival somehow. You can like use the street to like better purpose.
Not too often actually. It's very rare. I live close by, but I always bicycle to work. I never really walk in here. It's very rare. When I need something like some clothes and stuff like this, then there are a couple of shops I like here. Yeah, it's cool. I think it's cool to take a walk with a family, have a coffee. I think it's nice. Yeah, it's one of the nicest places.